6:45. We're still talking good day this morning. It's a great day because we're trying to get your love life back in working order. Rick Brown from the Institute for Relationship Therapy in Orlando is here to help us out. You've been on the Oprah show before. You've helped tons of people, I understand. So thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, let's start off with the easiest one. What's the main problem when people come in, they say, okay, fix me. What's wrong?
Well, usually they don't really know what's wrong, but I think what's happening for most couples is they really feel disconnected from each other. If you look at the statistics today out of every 10 marriages, 5 will end in divorce. But as bad as that is, of the 5 that stay in it, 2 to 3 of those, if they were honest with you, would tell you the relationship is somewhat dissatisfying, perhaps even miserable. And they are stuck. They're stuck in these patterns where you're doing your thing and he's doing his thing and I've got my responsibilities and you've got your responsibilities. We might come together around what we're having for dinner or who's going to pick up a kid. But in terms of the joy, the fun, the aliveness, the passion, the connection, it's often gone in many of those relationships.
So how do you fix that? It really is so often survival of the fittest. I know at my house it's, picking kids up from school, running to violin lessons. There's always something you're trying to keep up with. And like you said, you're always doing your jobs. You both have your jobs down pat. Right. But how do you make sure that you have that together time where you're actually working as a couple and not just the parents on the go?
Well, that's just an important word you said, working at it. Most people think that if it's this hard, I shouldn't have to, it's not right. I shouldn't have to work at love. I shouldn't have to work at my marriage. But you look at anybody who does their job. You look at Tiger Woods, for example. Now, here's a man with natural talent, but there's nobody who works harder at his game than Tiger Woods. And he blew away the field this weekend. This is true in relationships. We've got to work at it.
So why all the breakups and divorces? You said 50% of marriages end in divorce. So sad to think about it. When you go into this relationship, it's supposed to be forever. And yet it seems like we so easily just toss it out by the wayside if things aren't going well.
Yeah, because we don't really, it's not that we really, even people who think about divorce, think about separating, if you listen to them long enough, they really don't want divorce. What they want is an end to the pain, an end to the frustration, an end to the emptiness. And if we can help them really begin to learn how to be more connected to each other, then people really want to stay together and people want to enjoy their marriages.
What's the first step for people sitting out there right now saying, okay, you've hit the nail on the head, this is me. How do you go about fixing this?
Well, one of the things to realize, it's really not what you're talking about that is important. What is really, really, really important is how you're talking about what you're talking about. Can you find a safe way to talk with each other? So whatever the issue, whatever the concern, whatever the problem, do we have a safe way of holding that? And this is what I try to teach in couples I work with in my office or on the workshops that I do on the weekends.
A lot of times when you sit down and talk as couples, people say that it turns into a blame game where it's your fault, not my fault. But it always seems that there's something that you don't see in yourself that maybe you can fix. How do you go about seeing what's wrong with you in the relationship? Because we all have a little something we can work on.
We do, and part of the real exciting thing about relationships is your partner probably knows you better than you know yourself. And can we create the atmosphere where you could say how you experience me, and I can, rather than get defensive and reactive, I could really create a space to really hear that. And that's what we try to teach. Can I really hear what it is you're saying? And not just hear it, but can I understand it? Can it make sense to me? And then maybe having some empathy for what it's like for you to be in that space.
So get a hot date, but not to the movies so you can chat.
That's right. Well, you've got to find, falling in love, that's the easy part. In fact, if I asked you to go out and make that happen tonight, go out and fall in love, you couldn't do that. That is not something you can will. But staying in love, creating love, maintaining love, that takes work, and you have to work at that.
Work that's worth it. Rick Brown, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to having more conversations in the weeks and months ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.